Hello everyone, my name is Ananya and I'm a volunteer at the Bentonville Public Library, and today I'm going to be walking you through a few ACT math problems, 31 through 40, and you can find that test on tutor.com's ACT practice, and you can access tutor.com's practice test through the Bentonville Public Library. You can create an account for free and access their wonderful ACT and SAT as well as AP prep tools, and they also have practice tests. So keep it. And this yes. I'm gonna start. Hello everyone, my name is Ananya and I'm a volunteer at the Bentonville Public Library, and I'm going to be walking you through a few ACT math problems, questions 31 through 40 to be specific. And you can access these questions and the practice test on tutor.com's ACT practice tools. And you can access that tools through BPL's, Bentonville Public Library's Hello everyone, my name is Ananya and I'm going to be walking you through Hello everyone, my name is Ananya and I'm a volunteer at the Bentonville Public Library. Today I'm going to be walking you through a few ACT math problems. You can find these questions on tutor.com's ACT prep passages that are available to Bentonville Public Library users. You just need to create an account and you'll be able to access it, and this is from practice test 2. And I just wanted to share some of my math strategies that were successful. So keep a notebook to write down formulas that you weren't aware of or problems you missed. I personally wrote down every single problem I missed and reviewed it before I took another practice test. I also write down concepts. There are a few concepts that don't show up on every test, but they come up on every 4 or 5 tests. And I can give you an example. It would be matrices. I don't see them often, but they do come up. Practice, practice, and practice. Honestly, that will give you, that is like, you're trying to practice for the ACT test. There's no additional outside knowledge you need to bring in. Honestly, practice for this test. Know the abilities of your calculator well. Make sure it's on the correct mode, radian or degree. No. Hello guys, my name is Ananya and I'm going to be walking you through these a few ACT math questions. I just wanted to share some of my math strategies that helped me out and allowed me to get a really high score on the ACT math portion. I used to keep a notebook of just for ACT math, and I used to write down formulas and concepts and problems I missed. I used to review that before every test I used to take, and it was very helpful. Also practice, practice, practice. There's numerous practice tests out there, and tutor.com has 8, and I know there's a subreddit or ACT that has 70 released ACT practice tests that you can go and access for free and print out. Know the abilities of your calculator well. You need to use your calculator because you only have 60 minutes. And it will do most of the work for you if you just know how to use it. Make sure it's in the correct mode, like radian or degrees. I'll show you when you need to use what. Skip problems that seem difficult. Again, you only have 60 minutes and you have 60 problems to complete, so you gotta go fast. 1 minute per problem, and if a problem, you're having difficulty on something, skip to the next one and do what you can. And you can come back and guess on them or work on them when you have time at the end. Yes, you can please pause the video and complete 31 to 240 on the ACT practice test number 2 on tutor.com. And put a timer for 30 minutes if you want to challenge yourself. So I'm not going to read the question, I'm just going to go ahead and dive right in. You can pause to read it if you would like. So essentially we're trying to find J through M, JM. That's the segment we want to find. We're already given LM, so we need to find JL. I went ahead and redrew the diagram here on the left. Please ignore that 10. Whenever I solved it, I wrote it down there, but think like it's not there. So we're trying to find, we know it's an isosceles triangle, so I went ahead and cut it in half right here. We're trying to find JN. Once we find JN, we can multiply it by 2, and then we'll be able to find JL, and then add that to LM to find JM. So we are given these two values. We have the hypotenuse and we have the opposite side of this angle. Now we need to find the adjacent side of the angle. We need to first find the degree to find the side length right here. You could do sine x is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. The opposite side of this angle is 24 over, and then the hypotenuse is 26, so that's why it's 24 over 26. And to find the degree, we would have to put the sign to the other side, and it's called an inverse. That's why you have the -1 over there. And this will give you a degree. So right now, your calculator should be in degree mode to find the correct degree measure. There's also another way you could have solved the length, honestly. I went through 2 steps to solve it, but you could have done the Pythagorean theorem to find it as well. But I'll go through what I did. So once you have the degree measure right here, you can do tangent of this degree measure, because tangent is opposite over adjacent. We have our opposite of 24 right here, so I went ahead and put it there. Over x, we don't know our adjacent, that's what we're trying to find. So multiply by x on both sides to cancel it over here, and then divide it by 67.38 to make sure x is alone. So once we have x alone, we can just put this in our calculator and find that x is equal to 10. So that's not our answer. That's basically JN. JN is 10, so NL would also be 10 because it's an isosceles triangle. So 20 right here plus a 30 would give us 50, which is E. Or try to order these 3 values from greatest to least. I would recommend converting them to decimals first. It would greatly help. You can just put that in your calculator to find those decimals. Once you have the decimal values, it's really easy to put them in from greatest to least. 2.55 is the greatest, which is this fraction right here, so go ahead and put it right there. And then 2.5 is the second greatest, and 2.4 is at the end. So we're asked to find how many bowls of soup Jaden bought. We know he bought 8 total. So we know he bought 8 total cups and bowls of tomato soup, but we don't know how many of each. And we also know that it costed him $27.50 to buy 8 cups or bowls of tomato soup. So we need to put it into a systems of equation to find our answer. So C plus B, C is my cup plus bowl, is equal to 8 because we know he bought 8 of them. And then we need to find, we have the price of cups, which is 2.5, and we have the price of bowls, which is 4. And we know it costed him a total of 27.5. We got to multiply the top equation by -2.5 because I'm using elimination. It's a method. It's one of the 3 methods to solve a type of problem like this. And once we have, so we have to multiply this -2.5 by every single value, by C, B, and 8. And we get this. Once we have this, we're able to cancel this because -2.5 plus 2.5 is 0. And 4 minus 2.5 is 1.5. and then 27.5 minus 20 is 7.5. And we divide this side by 1.5, and we get b equals 5. So he bought 5 bowls of soup. If we're asked how many cups of soup did he buy, we can do c plus b, which we know is 5, is equal to 8, and we'll find out that c is 3. Oops. Okay, so 34 is telling us that Ella bought 4 cups of chicken noodle soup at regular price, but the last cup she bought with a 20% coupon, and they're asking how much she paid in total for the 5 cups. So 4 times the regular price of $3.50 would give us $14, and then she bought the last one with a 20% coupon, so that means she paid only 80% of that price. So 0.8 times 3.5 would give us $2.80. Add those two values together and you'll get $16.80, which is B. Number 35. 35 is another systems of equations problem. See, you will see a lot of these, so you need to make sure you're familiar with them. We are told that the expression Cx plus D represents the number of bowls of tomato soup sold in one day, whenever the price is X dollars per bowl. So Cx plus D is basically how many bowls are sold each day. And we're also told that 150 bowls are sold whenever the price in the table was in effect. So when it was $4 per bowl of soup, they sold 150. So, and then for a decrease of 50 cents, they're able to sell 12 more. So this is a systems of equation I created. So for $4, that's the price in the table per bowl of tomato soup. They're able to sell 150. If you decrease it by 50 cents, so 3.5, you'll get 12 more sold. And you solve for the systems of equation. I just multiplied the top by -1. So I have -1d, and then I'm able to cancel it out with the bottom. And go on this left side, 3.5 plus -4 is -0.5. C, which is equal to 162 minus 150, which is 12. So 12 divided by -0.5 will give me C, which is -24. And so we know -24 is C. We don't have to find D because -24 is the only value right here. But if you wanted to find D and make sure we are correct, you can just plug in -24 into C in any one of these or in any one of the original equations. So 4 times -24 plus D equals 150. -96 plus D is 150, and D is equal to 246, just like option A. So 36, there's a lot of division. I would recommend you start from the bottom. 2 plus 2 over 3 would give me 8 over 3. And then 2 divided by 8 over 3 would give me 3/4. And then 2 plus 3/4 would give me 11 over 4. 2 divided by 11 over 4 would give me 8 over 11, which is basically G. Okay, so we're asked to find the x-intercept of the line represented by that equation. To find the x-intercept, we plug in 0 for y. Once we do that, we're able to solve this simple equation right here. Put 12 to the other side, bring 12 to the other side, divide it by 3, divide it by 3, and you'll get 4. And if we're asked to find the y-intercept of the equation, we would say x is equal to 0. So this was asking us at what time is a marble at 80 feet. And it gives us the equation for the height of the marble. So we need to say the height is 80. That's the t we're trying to find whenever height is equal to 80. So I went ahead and put in 80 for my h into that equation it gave us, and then I found that t equals 1 and t equals 5. And but both of them are potential answers, but it's asking us during the marble's descent. So when it's coming down, it asked us to find the time. So that would be t equals 5 would be the later time of the two values because it was asking for its descent. .39 asks us to solve the system of inequalities. So all we have to do is solve for y in them. So 4y minus 3 is less than 7. Add 3 to both sides, you get 10. And divide it by 4, and you'll find out that y is less than 10 fourths. And then on this side, you would divide by -5. And whenever you're dividing by a negative, the sign switches. So as you can see, the inequality sign switches. So it becomes greater than. And -20 divided by -4 is 4. No, -20 divided by -5 is 4, sorry. And we also know that these circles are not filled in because there's no equal to sign there. And last one. So for this one, I would recommend drawing a coordinate plane because it would greatly help you. We know Alex starts at -5, 8, and we know that this point is 5 kilometers west and 8 kilometers north of his house. So we just got to work backwards. So if this point is 5 kilometers west, it would be here, and then if this point was 8 kilometers north, then it would be here. So his house is 0, 0. And then we know that from the starting point, Alex travels 6 kilometers east, so this way, it will end up right here. And then he goes up 3 kilometers up, so we'll be up here, and then he goes back down 5 kilometers. And we'll end up at 1, 6. Now we're trying to find the closest to the straight line distance between his house and this ending point. And that would be this diagonal right here. So I just drew this triangle. This is the y-axis, and we know this is 6, and we know this is 1. This value is 1. And all I did was find the diagonal distance. And we can do that through Pythagorean theorem. 1 squared plus 6 squared is equal to x squared. Take the square root of 36 plus 1, which is 37, and it asks us what is closest to the value, and square root of 37 is closest to the value 6. And that's it. I hope my walkthrough helped you understand the problems, and please take advantage of the Bentonville Public Library's tutor.com access and work through practice tests so you can score really high on the ACT math portion. Thank you.